Mass shootings is a term given to violent incidents in which multiple people are intentionally targeted, usually in a single location over a period of time. Such incidents are usually carried out with firearms and usually involve more than one person killed or injured. The motivations for mass killings can be varied. They may be revenge, political beliefs, ideology, psychological problems, or other reasons. Types of mass shootings can include various scenarios, such as those occurring in schools, workplaces, shopping centers, and public events. In the United States, there are numerous mass shootings each year. In this video, we take a look at the deadliest mass shootings in U.S. history. Number 10. Parkland High School Shooting. On February 14, 2018, an armed attack took place at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in the town of Parkland. 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, a former student of the school, opened fire on staff and students with a rifle in his hand. In the attack, 17 people lost their lives and 17 were injured. The attack lasted about 6 minutes in total, and the victims were shot within 4 minutes. Cruz managed to flee the scene on foot, blending in with the students. Cruz, who was captured by the police about an hour and a half later, was arrested. The victims of the attack included students and school staff between the ages of 14 and 49. The Parkland High School shooting is one of the deadliest mass shooting at a high school in U.S. history. After the attack, various reactions from the public regarding gun control emerged. In the court in 2022, Cruz's Google search data was presented, and among these searches related to being a school shooter and killing women were detected. Number 9. Robb Elementary School Shooting. The Robb Elementary shooting was a massacre that occurred on May 24, 2022 in Uvalde, Texas. Salvador Ramos, an 18-year-old former student of the school, entered the school with 2 AR-15 style rifles and hundreds of rounds of ammunition he received on his birthday, killing 19 students and 2 teachers and wounding 17 others. This was the 3rd bloodiest school shooting in U.S. history and the 9th bloodiest mass shooting in modern times. It is not known why the attacker did such a thing. Police officers waited in the corridors of the school for an hour while the attacker shot students trapped in the classroom. This decision drew criticism from the police. The attacker was shot and killed by the U.S. Border Patrol Tactical Unit. After the massacre, the people of Uvalde were in great mourning and anger. The decision was made to demolish Robb Elementary School. The 19 students killed in the Robb Elementary School attack were between the ages of 7 and 10. The youngest victim was Uzia Garcia, a 4th grader. Number 8. San Isidro McDonald's Massacre. The San Isidro McDonald's Massacre was an act of mass murder that occurred on July 18, 1984 at a McDonald's restaurant in the San Isidro neighborhood of San Diego, California. The perpetrator, 41-year-old James Huberty, killed 21 people and wounded 19 others before being killed by a police sniper approximately 77 minutes after opening fire. At the time, the massacre was the deadliest mass murder by a single gunman, surpassed 7 years later by the Lubys attack. It remains the deadliest mass murder in California history. Huberty was born on October 11, 1942 in Canton, Ohio. He contracted polio at the age of 3, which caused him permanent difficulty walking. In early adulthood, he developed an interest in guns and began to use them. James Huberty's motive for carrying out the San Isidro McDonald's massacre is not fully known. However, some sources indicate that Huberty may have acted out of anger, suicidal ideation, and/or revenge. Number 7. El Paso Walmart Shooting. Patrick Wood Cruz was the perpetrator of the El Paso Walmart attack that occurred on August 3, 2019 at a Walmart store in El Paso, Texas. Cruz was 21 years old and killed 23 people and injured 22 others. The Federal Bureau of Investigation investigated the attack as an act of domestic terrorism and a hate crime. The attack has been described as the deadliest attack on Latinos in modern American history. When Cruz pleaded guilty to 90 federal charges, including 45 hate crimes, he was sentenced to consecutive life sentences. Patrick Wood Cruz was motivated to carry out the El Paso Walmart attack by right-wing extremism, anti-immigrant sentiments, racism, white supremacy, white genocide conspiracy theory, and belief in the Great Change conspiracy theory, and eco-fascism. Number 6. Lubys Shooting. The Lubys Shooting, also known as the Lubys Massacre, is an act of mass shooting that occurred on October 16, 1991 at a Lubys cafeteria in Killeen, Texas. The perpetrator of the act, George Hennard, drove his pickup truck through the front window of the restaurant. He killed 23 people and injured 27 others. Hennard engaged in a brief shootout with police, was seriously wounded but disobeyed orders to surrender, and eventually shot himself. George Hennard's motivation in the Lubys shooting is not fully known. However, some sources state that Hennard harbored a deep grudge against women and the government. Hennard was reported to have become increasingly isolated and exhibited paranoid behavior in the months leading up to the attack. The people of Killeen organized memorial services to commemorate the victims of the attack and offered support to the families of the victims. Number 5. Sutherland Springs Church Shooting. The Sutherland Springs Church shooting was carried out on November 5, 2017 by 26-year-old Devin Patrick Kelly. Kelly, who was from New Braunfels, Texas, carried out a mass shooting at the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, killing 26 people, injuring 22 others and later killing himself. The attack is the deadliest mass shooting in Texas history and the 5th deadliest mass shooting in the United States. It is also the deadliest mass shooting at an American place of worship. Kelly was not legally allowed to purchase or possess guns and ammunition because he had been convicted of a domestic violence offense during a court-martial in the U.S. Air Force. The motive for the Sutherland Springs Church attack was determined to be a family situation. Authorities confirmed that the assailant, Devin Patrick Kelly, was angry with his mother-in-law, a parishioner of the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs. The attacker had sent several threatening messages to his mother-in-law, but no reports had been reported to police. Number 4. Sandy Hook Elementary School Shooting. The Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting took place on December 14, 2012 in Newtown, Connecticut. 20-year-old Adam Lanza killed 26 people. 20 of the victims were children between the ages of 6 and 7, and another 6 were adult staff members. Earlier that same day, before going to school, Lanza killed his mother in their Newtown home. When first responders arrived at the school, Lanza committed suicide by shooting himself in the head. A report by the Connecticut State's Attorney released in November 2013 stated that Lanza acted alone and planned his actions, but provided no indication of why he did so or why he targeted the school. However, the attacker's 24-year-old brother, Ryan Lanza, said that the attacker suffered from Asperger's syndrome. The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit stated in its report that the evidence indicated that the attacker had an interest in children that could be classified as pedophilia. Number 3. Virginia Tech Shooting. The Virginia Tech shooting was a mass shooting that occurred on April 16, 2007 on the campus of Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University in Blacksburg. Sung Hui Cho, an undergraduate student at the university and a U.S. transplant from South Korea, killed 32 people and wounded 17 others with 2 semi-automatic handguns. Cho's first attack took place in a dormitory called West Ambler Johnston Hall, where 2 people were killed. The main attack took place in a classroom building called Norris Hall. Cho chained the main entrance doors and opened fire in 4 classrooms and a stairwell, killing 30 more people. When police officers entered Norris Hall, Cho committed suicide by shooting himself in the head. The cause of the Virginia Tech shooting has not been conclusively established. However, it is thought that the attacker acted for possible reasons such as misanthropy or retaliation against bullying. Number 2. Orlando Nightclub Shooting. The Orlando nightclub shooting was carried out on June 12, 2016 by 29-year-old Omar Mateen. Mateen killed 49 people and injured 53 others at a nightclub called Pulse in Orlando, Florida. Omar was killed by Orlando police officers after a 3-hour siege. The attack was the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history and remained the deadliest mass shooting until the 2017 Las Vegas attack. It is also the deadliest incident of anti-LGBT violence in the U.S., surpassing the upstairs lounge fire attack in 1973. As the cause of the attack, Mateen reportedly swore allegiance to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the leader of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, and said that the U.S. killing of Abu Wahib in Iraq a month earlier had triggered the attack. He then told the negotiator that he was here because of American interventions in Iraq and asked the negotiator to tell the United States to stop bombing. Number 1. Las Vegas Shooting. The Las Vegas shooting was carried out on October 1, 2017 by 64-year-old Stephen Paddock. From his room on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel in Las Vegas, Paddock opened fire on a crowd attending the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival. He fired more than 1,000 rounds, killing 60 people and wounding at least 413. After the panic, the number of wounded rose to approximately 867. About an hour later, he was found to have committed suicide by shooting himself in his room. The cause of the mass shooting has not been officially established. This is the deadliest mass shooting in American history. It drew attention to gun laws in the US, particularly in relation to bump stocks, which Paddock used to fire at a rate similar to automatic firearms.